Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Craven.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins. Led by fire.
Play aggressive, D.
It's a new day. New dawn. No longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is. You know what day it is. It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Hump Day! And if it's Wednesday, you know I'm with my guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Sean, it's the week of week one.
That's right.
There's a chill in the air in the morning. We're in the 60s in the morning. It feels like fall all of a sudden. It's just like Labor Day happened and the world just kind of clicked and fall came roaring in here.
And it couldn't have come soon enough because some of them 90 plus days were a bit much. All right.
Yeah. They're hot. They're hot. Thank goodness we had the pool all summer to go to. That's what we got through it. But yeah, no,
exactly.
I hear you.
Yep. And hey, like Will said, the eve of football, the first official game starts tomorrow. The rematch of the AFC Championship, the Chiefs playing the Ravens in Kansas City. Another year is all ready to go, and I'm excited. I can't wait. Johnny's saying, let's go. Yeah, everything is here. We have our first game this weekend, but let's dive into it. The season is here. How are we feeling? I mean, with our team, but also just in general. Like, football is back, Will. What are your thoughts?
Totally. I mean, it always feels weird on Labor Day. College football returns, and it's like it takes me like a week or two for it to feel like normal. But I'm extremely excited for Sunday. I mean, I'm obviously real excited for Thursday, and now we got a Friday game, yes. Eagles-Packers. That's kind of unique. But then for Sunday, and there's just a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
There's excitement because of new general manager, new coach, new coaching staff, second overall pick of a quarterback. We haven't had this type of excitement since 2012.
Yeah.
When Robert came in.
Yeah.
And part of what has this so exciting is the coaching staff he assembled. It's that thought of we felt this way when Joe Gibbs came back. We felt this way when Mike Shanahan came in. We felt this way when Ron Rivera took over, where it's like we have professionals on this that are in our franchise, and we are excited for what they're going to do and how they're going to transform. And so, you're in the area, you're feeling it. I'm sure you can tell there's a buzz. It's like, people are ready because they want to see what this team becomes.
Yes. Now, what I also heard was we seem to feel this way a lot. And up until this time, it hasn't really worked itself out. But right. To your point, man, we are a loyal fan group. We love our guys. We follow them through thick and thin. But to your point, this year, it just feels a lot different. I told you over the off season how that one day I was at the mall and a family of 5, every one of them had a Washington jersey on. And it just made you feel good. Like, yes, we're not afraid anymore. We can come out of the woodworks and be like, yes, we are fans. And I'm excited about that. And to your point, number 2 pick overall, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Last time we did that, we were coming off a Super Bowl victory when we picked up Desmond Howard. But it's fun to think and to imagine what could happen. Now, in reality, we still got some holes. We still got some things we have to address, and we're cautiously optimistic, Will, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this is us being smart, because the first thing everybody thinks of is 2012, and we know what happened after 2012 and 2013 and everything like that. So we don't want that again. What is different from that to this?
What's different between 2012 and this year, you mean, the start?
Yeah.
I think it was more about the similarities, actually. The fact that we don't know what this offense is going to look like. We have a dynamic player at quarterback, and so there's nothing to predict right now or anticipate. And you're starting to hear it from the players. Like Terry every year is like, oh, yeah, I like this quarterback. He puts the ball where I want it, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of, from what I'm hearing, he's really showing that he likes this guy. He's really kind of talking with a smile to reporters. You got Zach Ertz and Austin Eckler, who said, like, Jaden Daniels is going to be good immediately. It's not he needs to learn how to do this. Like, there's a lot of praise. And like you said, we've been down this road before. Players always say nice things in August. That certainly is the case. But there does seem to be a genuine, like, this guy looks legit. And you're hearing it from the reporters too, where they're like, this kid looks pretty good. And if you have a dynamic quarterback, that changes the whole, prognosis for the season. So that's just, I think it just brings a lot of optimism.
Oh yeah. And I think it's more than this what we're going to see on the field. It's been the buildup. It's been Josh Harris coming in and getting close to, the fans and all the people in house. And then these new coaches bringing in these guys. Obviously, we know about Tyler Biadasz and you talked about Ertz and Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. We're bringing in talent. We're addressing issues. And, yeah, there's some other things that are, we're still questioning. But it just seems like the moves that they're making are all leading towards the future, all leading towards what is it, what do we want to be? And that was what makes me optimistic. We discussed how many games we think we could potentially win and it's the over, the under, or whatever. But I think the fact that these guys seem to be putting the right guys in, the guys with the right headspace. We talk about getting Samerstill from Michigan and then McGee from Temple. Both of these guys were captains. Both of these guys were leaders on their respective teams in college, and now to bring that to the league and bring that to us, on top of having a Bobby Wagner who we know is a leader, it just makes you feel like we're doing something right, Right. And that is what I think we can all get excited about. Oh, here we go. The Bucs fans are out. Bucs defense.
It's already starting.
Let's go.
We got our Bucs guys coming on. They're already talking.
Oh yeah. So hey, definitely tune in because stay tuned. We have our Bucs guys coming, but let's go into this because I think this is something that we're going to have. A lot of people are interested in and watching. All of us fans. There's some people that are saying, "Oh, this is it. We got JD5. We're going to be playoffs. We're going to be the top team in the division. Yada yada." And then there's some of us that are more, not as much reactionary, more literal, more. Yeah, grounded. We're gonna have a struggle. We're gonna have what? We're gonna have another. What constitute a successful season? Is it playoffs, or is it just we don't look like we did last year? Like, what is it that will constitute a successful season to you, Will?
Well, I think both of what you just said. Obviously you make the playoffs from going from 4 wins to the playoffs. That would be successful. Yeah. But so the Vegas line I've seen is 6.5 wins for Washington. That seems pretty accurate. Getting to 7 wins in the season would almost be doubling the year before. I think that would be showing success. The big part is going to be how do we get those wins?
Yeah.
Do we do the Ron Rivera thing where you claw your way to 3-point victories, 2-point victories that barely get through, where defensive players should be interceptions and you're able to kick the game-winning field goal, that type of stuff? I'm thinking like the Raiders game that we had years ago. Or are we building momentum at the end of the season? do they show in Jaden Daniels, you've got a quarterback to build on, which then means you can go spend in the offseason and build around and say, year number 2 is going to be the year we're coming for it. So that's what I'm kind of looking at is, it's not so much wins and losses. I mean, obviously, if you're picking number 2 overall again and you have four wins on the season, that probably isn't good. Of course, it's not good. That probably doesn't bode well for who they brought in. But if you're sitting around 6, 7, 8 wins and JD5 looks the part, to me, that's showing like if we say we got ourselves a quarterback like we think we do on September 4th, that right there is a successful season.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I got to be honest here. We got Corey said we're going to finish in 3rd place right above the Giants. And we kind of have talked about that. We've said that's kind of where we feel like we're going to be, right behind Dallas and Philly. But I got to be honest, man, like I really kind of feel like we already are having a successful season. And it's in the way that these guys are talking. And it's not the Terry McLaurin's, who we know. He's the nice guy. He's always going to say the nice thing. But it's in the Bobby Wagners and how they like and really are gravitating to these rookies. It's in the Zach Ertz and how they're really loving how, like he said, JD5 he's ready to go. He's going to be a star in week 1. Like that is what I love. The fact that these guys are excited to be in Washington. I mean, we talked about it all off season. Like Bobby Wagner wants to come here. Ertz these guys want to come to Washington. We're even in the running for Brandon Ayuk. Like what? But when you think about the culture, we talk about it all the time. The culture is changing, and it's totally flipping to the point where up until today, we haven't heard anything of any chatter or any nonsense in the media about our team. You know what I mean? We haven't heard any negativity. That whole thing that we're not talking about the negative stuff, and we are actually looking forward to a season that we're optimistic that we can really make some strides this year. I don't think. I mean, obviously, like you said, playoffs or X amount of wins. That's easy to put on a board and say that's the goal we have to reach. But honestly, the fact that we can talk about our team around this league and people aren't clowning us and joking, and they're actually saying, yeah, you guys got you're a nice quarterback. You guys look at that. Look at those linebackers. That to me is success. That's a win. You know what I mean? I just feel like you and I have been in these circles, man. We've seen how people clown us for the name change and for, Dan Snyder and what quarterback can have this week. I finally feel, and again, cautiously optimistic, but I finally feel like, man, we are set. If we can keep JD5 healthy and keep some of these veterans on here to keep mentoring guys, the success is there. The fact that we got guys like an Austin Eckler that want to be in Washington and are hyped and ready for week 1, that's a success, man. So right now, I think we are definitely on track and definitely in the right stance. But we all want victories, obviously. We all want wins and everything like that. But I don't think, if we miss the playoffs or if we don't have a winning season, I don't think that constitutes being a failure.
Exactly. No, you're right. Well, and the other thing is the noise is not just coming from around the DC area. It's being talked about nationwide. You've got Kay Adams talking about how she thinks Washington's a sleeper team. There's a couple other national guys saying that Washington's a team to watch, and everyone's watching, Jaden Daniels and being like, good gosh, this guy looks the part. And that's what makes it exciting. I think back to Alex is joining us watching in to like what happened with the Lions, and Alex could correct me on this. I don't know if in that first season with Jared Goff, if they made the playoffs, but they showed something. They showed like, hey, this ain't the same old Lions that we're used to. Right. And that may be the type of turnaround that we see from this season. There's been a lot of comparisons being made to CJ Stroud and the Texans and the fact that they brought in these new coaches and brought in these new systems and look what they did. But you got to also remember, we're playing in the NFC East. We're playing Philadelphia twice a year.
Yeah.
Look at the division that the Texans are in. If we were playing in that division too, I'd say we might make the turnaround as well if I got to play the Jags and the Colts and the Titans, 6 times out of the year instead of who we play. So that probably is not the best comparison, but the idea is being the fact that they are, like you said, showing some strides. It doesn't have to be making the playoffs, but showing like this team is up and coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see you rally behind JD with him being the Sam Howell replacement. Listen, I don't look at it that way.
He's coming around. I'm looking here. I think I'm going to go on DH Gate as we're talking and buy Sean a Jaden Daniels jersey for $40.
It ain't happening. Alex Stevens already has his JD5. I'll let him have his thing too. Oh man, but yeah, Alex said to your point, we were awful the first year with golf. That's how we got Hutchinson. Missed on a tiebreaker in year 2 before making it to last year, and that's the trajectory that we want. And I want that. Like I don't eat that. Remember, they think about that first year with golf where they went 4-13, just like similar to us, and then slowly they worked their way up to the point where they're now one of the top teams in the NFC by far. So that's something that I want from us. And I've told you that. I've told everybody that. Don't give me a 1-year flyer. Don't give me a 2012 if it's just going to be that 1 year and then now we're back to mediocrity the years later. I want to build something that is consistent year after year to where we're in the playoffs and we're potentially going farther. So that's what I think we're doing, right now. And so that and talking about following the blueprint, we're following the blueprint of the Lions, but also we have a lot of people in house from San Francisco. We saw how San Francisco built up in the draft and the things that they did. And I think that's one of the things that we're starting to look, how they traded for, they brought in people, Trent Williams, a bunch of these guys. So that's what I'm seeing and with Washington. And so, I think we're in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I can get you a Jaden Daniels jersey for $25.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so cheap? Yeah, maybe they know he ain't the best. How much is that Drake? 300? I thought so. For the backup. I need to get a Sam Howell Seattle jersey. Look, we're gonna move on. Part of the reason why, speaking of why we are so excited and why we think we're in the right direction, we know about Ron's draft picks and a lot of the guys that Ron has brought in and how some of these guys are gone. The jury's out if it's a conspiracy. We'll talk about that. But this is huge because us extending Sam Cosmi, which is one of his draft picks, one of the only holdovers that we can really say this guy has been good. He's proven himself, and now he's getting this opportunity. Will, what does this say about us as Washington?
Yeah, well, I think it says a lot more, but for Sam Cosmi, the fact that a new regime came in, they've been cleaning house of anyone that was a football team player and commander prior to them. But they said, hey, this is a building block. You got a young quarterback. We've got him on a cheap contract right now. This is an opportunity to extend a young offensive lineman who was is only in his second year as guard and is showing that he can be, he's a really good player. So it's great foresight. It's great opportunity where they're like, we have the cap space. Let's go take care of one of our guys and give him a good contract, get him locked in. It also, I think, shows the fact that if Sam Cosmi didn't have to sign this, but he hasn't even played a game that counts for this new coaching staff. And he said, sign me up for 4 more years of this.
Yes.
What does that say about what he's seen from one staff to the next to say, I want to be a part of that?
Exactly. And that's something that, and also the fact that like we said, we know about the turnover and how people are leaving and this and that. And we know that other guys are coming in. I mean, Tyler Biadasz, Allegretti, the people on the line. And the fact that this is like, you've been here, we've seen you through a year, and we still want you. We still want to keep you. And not only that, we want to build around you. That, to me, it goes back to the successful season. That's a success. We have a guy that wants to stay here that's actually a legitimate lineman. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something for me that going back to what we're talking about with Detroit. We know what they did when they drafted Penei Sewell. and they built around him. I'm not saying Cosme at that level, but for us to have a guy, I think who did I mention to you earlier today? Or John Jansen.
Yes.
You know, year in, year out, we can rely on this guy. He gets the job done. And this to me, it speaks volumes about what's going on in-house. And it just gives me that confidence that, okay, all right, we're on the right road. We're in the right direction.
Yep. I agree. I love it. I love the move.
Oh man. Okay. We see, okay, we obviously put it out there. So these Tampa fans are coming out the woodworks. Tampa 31-10. You know what, Marty? Ain't nobody thinking about you, man. Great point, Will. Him signing the extension before the first game under Quinn is huge. You want solid players that believe in the culture. Great sign for Washington. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, and we are excited about that. I remember when you messaged me that, I was sitting there, whoo. Okay, this is a good thing. This is a very good thing, man.
Definitely.
So I'm ecstatic. To that point, the depth chart was announced. You sent it to me. I'm gonna sit here and start at wide receiver. I mean, I know we already know what's going on pretty much above that. We know Terry's number one, but Will, number two is Luke McCaffrey.
Oh,
okay. I mean, like I said, we trust them. We know they've been watching these guys day in and day out. We know the pedigree of the McCaffrey family. But is this a good thing that he's our number two, or should we be worried because it's like, wait, that's a rookie? Like,
well, it is week one. And I did hear from Ben Standig where he thinks that Noah Brown would probably take over that role. But Luke McCaffrey, besides Brown, is our next tallest receiver, and so that, him and Diami I think are about 6'2", and so I think he might be 6'2". So it's like he brings some size. And so right now, he is providing something that we don't really have. And him and Diami are the ones that are flip-flopping. And, they anticipate the fact that Jason Swade.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. They anticipate all the receivers getting in some form or fashion and working them way in. But it's interesting. You can't tell if it's they've been working on this behind the scenes and just keeping it quiet and they know something, or is it more he's going to play this little spot, for this week, and eventually Noah Brown will take over, or who knows? I don't know. I think it's going to be exciting to see what he does.
Oh yeah, and honestly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of gives you a little bit of that. Okay, he is McCaffrey's brother. Maybe we got a McCaffrey. Like, oh,
exactly. Totally.
So yeah, we're definitely geeking out a little bit, but at the same time, let's just see. To your point, he is the second tallest guy. Still something we got to address.
What's his number? Is it 12? Seeing if I can customize it for us.
Is it 12?
Yeah, I think it's 12.
Yeah. Man, I'm happy for it, man. I was talking, as a matter of fact, to Johnny about it yesterday. Guy went to he started off as a quarterback. Did you know he started off as a quarterback and I think it was Nebraska, and then transferred to Rice, and then ended up changing from quarterback to wide receiver. So that's what I was talking to Johnny about, is that I like those quarterbacks turned wide receiver. We know Randall L. We had him for a little bit. We know who's the guy for the Patriots, Edelman. Edelman used to be a quarterback in college, and transferred and trains over. B. Mitch did a little quarterbacking in college and stuff like that. So when you have that, and then you turn to a receiver, a lot of times you understand what the quarterback's looking for, how the routes play out, and everything like that. But I think what it goes to a little bit more is what you were saying, what you alluded to, is that we've seen the guys that are still here are guys that JD5 really gets along with, really kind of is meshing with. And maybe that's something bigger. We all try to put up depth charts by who we think is the best overall and this and that. But maybe it's that connection. Marty said, so you guys finally have a quarterback. Well, we don't know. We haven't seen him in any official NFL snaps as far as the regular season. But just by the fact that these wide receivers and Ertz and the running backs, all these guys are saying, yeah, we can run with this guy. We can play with this guy. That lets me know, yeah, we do have a quarterback, because it hasn't been that way over the last several years. You know what I mean? So to that point, I'm excited about that. But let's keep going down the list, because we also have a guy that's a rookie that's on the line, Will.
Yeah, this one shocked me. The fact that they, for right now, list Brandon Coleman as a starting left tackle, and he has not played a single snap in any professional game. Now, Dan Quinn did say they're going to test him I think today and tomorrow to kind of see where he's at. He had a shoulder injury in training camp, so he was staying with his conditioning, but he's not getting some of that physical work in. So that's a little bit concerning there. I think I'd rather see Cornelius Lucas, but again, it's what are they seeing? What do they see that we can't? I think it's a little crazy, and I've sort of dismissed. I've heard this. They're like, we don't know. Maybe Coleman comes back and starts at left tackle. He was in the spring and he was in the summer. I'm like, this guy needs to have some type of reps before you start throwing him to protect, your prized rookie quarterback's blind side. So we'll see. But that was certainly a surprise, without a doubt.
Yeah, and like we've seen, they seem to be throwing some of these guys in and just saying, hey, prove yourself, and hopefully they do that. But to your point, can we hold off and let these guys prove themselves? We got a rookie quarterback. Let's keep him upright first, especially
there's certain positions to know.
Right, especially knowing where we came from when y'all did my quarterback Sam Howell dirty. It's got his butt sacked the most times than anybody. Yep. But I mean, to that point, we need to make sure that we keep our guy upright, unless, who knows? Again, we don't know we know a little bit of what they might be running, but maybe they're running things that are going to keep JD5 on the edge. So that won't be as big of an issue as opposed to with Sam, where you're doing the 5-7 step drops, having to wait till these receivers driving down the field and things like that. It might be some quick passes that might negate some of his inexperience. So, Alex Sand might just be trying him out because what we had clear wasn't working. Hopefully Coleman works out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We shall see. Look, let's go on to the defense. Cleveland Farrell starting at DN. But on the depth chart, it says Jamin Davis is his backup at edge. What? Is this part of him trying to make the team, or are they just? What do you think, man?
They moved Jamin to defensive end. That's all he did. All training camp, working with Ryan Kerrigan, who's our pass rush specialty coach. That's all he did. So they pretty much said, you're going to be a defensive end. You are no longer having to be linebacker responsibilities. And they made it official by saying this is where we see you at. And this would be interesting to watch. He's a different player than Cleveland Farrell. Farrell is a run stuffer. Jamin's going to be there to be a third down pass rush. Part of me feels like I'd rather see Dante Fowler come in during that situation, like swap out Farrell for Fowler, let him rush the passer, and maybe we'll get into that. But that will be interesting to kind of see.
And speaking of Fowler, they have him an outside linebacker.
Yes.
So, clearly they and right. And that's the other thing. And I'm glad you did that, because we do need to understand that just because this is what's on paper, or this is the official depth chart that they have, this stuff can be moved all around. And with how they play, I'm eager to see kind of how they do adjust and move everybody in. And I like this. I think they view Jamin as their Micah Parsons project. Okay.
I think in a way they're trying to see what can they get out of his athleticism, not in the same way they even talked about in training camp, and unfortunately, again, the fact that we don't really have like a Trent Williams for him to go up against, but there were times they basically said when Jamin could use his speed, and Johnny would kind of understand this when he talks about one of the Bucs guys who's all speed. When Jamin can use his speed, he can get there. But if he gets physical with one of the left tackles, if they can get their hands on him, he doesn't have the strength, and they swallow him up, which is part of his learning process. So, I think the idea, like Alex is saying, what I've been saying for years is you've got an athletic linebacker, you've got an athletic player. find out how you can use him on the field.
Right.
And that seems to be what they might be trying to do.
And that's what I'm excited for. Just to see them move these guys around and see them move these pieces and not just have it 4-man line, linebackers and just make it vanilla and plain. Let's switch this thing up. Let's really throw some different things at these guys. So what's up, Jared, in the building? Jamin is a first-round talent. They got to see what he's got. Yeah. And you talked about it. Well, that's how you shake your head. You talked about it. He's got ability. You know what I mean? We know he's got that raw talent that's always been what the jury's been out on him about. He's got raw talent. He can do it. But whether it's been Ron and Jack Del Rio just not putting him in advantageous situations or he's just not living up to it, whatever, this new regime in here, I'm excited to see how they work him in because and also if there's a sense of urgency because as he's seen, people are leaving left, getting cut, getting released, whatever, traded left and right. So nothing's guaranteed. So this is your opportunity. Let's moving on. Obviously, Bobby, Frankie Lavu. We got Sammer Still, St. Juice, and Forbes all set up as corners. Jeremy Chin is strong safety, and your boy Quan is right here as a starting free safety. Is this it, man? Is this his opportunity to shine?
This is it. This is his year. Remember the name. I hope so.
Well, I'm ready for this meteoric rise.
Right? What kind of surprised me about our safeties was not we knew Chin and Martin were going to be the starters, but then right before all this talk around cutdown day was Derek Forrest. And now he's sitting right behind Jeremy Chin, who, guess what? Jeremy Chin is also going to go in there and play as a linebacker. He's going to go play down by the line of scrimmage, and you're putting Forrest right behind him, potentially coming in and take over. Right after that, behind Quan, you've got Jeremy Reeves. All this talk was Jeremy Reeves is playing a lot in the preseason. He's probably on the chopping block. Guess what? He's on the 2 deep. The guy behind him is the guy where I'm like, what do they see in this guy, Percy Butler, that they're not dressing him? He's listed third. It's like, and again, these can be fluid. It's just week 1. But that kind of stood out to me a little bit, just seeing those 2 guys as our backup safeties. Where you and I talked about it on the pre-cut show or after the cut show, saying like, why is Derek Forrest on the chopping block? We're not saying he's the next Pro Bowl safety, but is he really warranted getting cut?
Right.
Apparently not.
Right. I do want to say I'm excited about the guy that you've been calling out all off season, Tyler Owens. Yeah, I know he's third on that list, but the fact that he's on the squad, man, that proves that they're giving these guys a shot.
Yeah, he'll build it. Yes, we do. What do you mean we don't want that safe? That's what Jeremy Chin's he thrives at the line of scrimmage. I do.
You know what Will's favorite term is, that Buffalo nickel?
Yes. I love that position.
Absolutely. And all right, so in special teams, obviously Tress Way, we know what he's doing. Byron Pringle is set to be kick returner, and Jamison Crowder, punt returner, with Olamide Zaccheaus backing them both up. Kicker, Cade York.
Yeah, as of right now, they're going with them. All right. We'll see.
Let's see what happens. The revolving door of kickers. I don't want to. Look, hold up, Jared. This ain't gonna happen. And you know what? Hold your tongue, because when we play y'all, we're gonna bring you on the show. You're gonna have your chance to talk. All right. So, okay, glad you came here to watch, man. Well, look, yeah. So, I mean, with that, we've seen the depth chart. Obviously, this is fluid. It could move up and down. We know that they're still evaluating everything like this. But coming into the season, game day is Sunday. This is the roster that we're pushing out there. What overall? I mean, does this make you excited, or does this just kind of?
Totally, absolutely. I mean, like you said, there are roster spots here. I don't love our corners. I don't know what's going on at left tackle. There's holes. We don't have a legit number 2 receiver. As much as I hyped up Luke McCaffrey there, we don't have a legitimate other weapon other than Terry out there.
Yeah.
But we've got a strong coaching staff, and I'm excited to see what they put together. So absolutely.
Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick breather, and then we got to bring in our Bucs guys. We're going to do a quick Bucs preview. But before we do, next Monday, myself, Janae Strother, Let's Talk Football will be back. So let's go to show you a little clip from how things went last year. Let's go.
Let me go ahead and put my hat back on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. The Cowboys
Lord,
will finally,
don't do it.
Finally,
Oh my goodness,
beat the San Francisco 49ers at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. This Sunday, the Cowboys change is gonna come.
That didn't age well.
Nope. I think the score was 42-10 or something like that. Yeah, ain't no change coming. Ain't no change coming. But we will be back, myself and Janae Strother, next Monday, recapping all of the first week's games and then talking about the Monday night game. Definitely tune in because it's going to be a good time. Absolutely. But look, we know we got a game this week. Week 1 is upon us. Washington versus Tampa Bay. And one thing I love about this, Will, in creating the Let's Talk Football in the group, we got friends that love to talk about their team as well, that love to talk about their guys. And we're going to start bringing people on week after week compared, with who we have to play. But today we got a little Bucs preview. And with that, we got to bring in our guys, Mr. Johnny Dean and Ben Cornett. What up, gentlemen?
How you doing?
All right.
Mute, Johnny.
He's muted.
Johnny, you're muted.
That was wrong, Will. You stole my thunder, man. The first thing out my mouth when I got on here was going to be about Luke, and you ended with that just to hurt me. You don't know how I was sitting here getting antsy and going the whole time you were talking about the roster. Because guess what? We're going to have to break it all down again because it's nice with you two Washington guys patting each other on the backs and stuff about the roster and shit. Let us talk about it too,
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
A serious question about that. Start right there with Luke, okay? Let's start right there with Luke.
Okay.
Let's see. I honestly thought Diami Brown was going to be the number one there. What is Luke's besides pedigree? What is it about them that wanted to draft him in the first place?
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
His size, his size, his route running, he's physical. Dan Quinn and Adam Peters want bigger guys. Part of the reason they got rid of Jahan Dotson is he was a runt out there. And there was a play in preseason where Terry could have broken it and Jahan couldn't stay on his guy to block him. And that's not the type of style that they're looking for. Look what's in San Francisco.
Well, I get that.
Those are big guys.
Me and Alex,
right.
Sean
so that's he fits the physical mold of what they're looking to get there.
But to jump him number one with his experience, dude, come on, man.
I agree. It's a surprise there. But listen, these receivers, they've got guys who are like one-trick ponies. Zacchaeus is small but shifty, so he's in your slot. Diami is fast, and so he's going to be on the outside. It's like besides Terry, they're all like one-trick ponies, to what they can do out there. But it's on the coaching staff to put them in the positions where they can shine.
Right. And the other part to this, Johnny, you and I talked about this last night, is that we've seen what Diami can do. And Diami's now finally showing out, and we're glad, but he still has yet to do it in a regular season game.
Yes.
But with Luke, like you said, like Alex is saying, like Will said, size and versatility. But like you and I talked about, he was a quarterback first and then transitioned to wide receiver. A lot of times when those quarterbacks transition, then they kind of know what the quarterback is thinking. And so, you couple that with some of the pedigree. And then at the end of the day, Johnny,
that's a misconception.
They've seen,
right?
I mean, but at the end of the day, they've seen what's going on in house. The coaches, the people, and we're inclined to trust them. Because
this
it's like,
one I'm going to defer to you guys on. This is not a matter of opinion. This is just I'm really curious.
oh yeah,
Vincent, I thought he was going to be your number 2.
Yeah, the fact that he's behind John Bates, the blocker. Yeah. Well, and that also could be a little bit of gamesmanship that's being played here. You don't know what packages they're going to put him out where he is going to be featured, even though he's listed as a third tight end. Because there is an expectation that he will be a big part of the team, big part of the offense, but maybe it's not week 1.
Okay. And to give you guys a little bit of faith in your team, I'm not just going to come in here right away and destroy you.
Sure.
I'm going to qualify this with you guys understand. As young as you are, the Buccaneers are the 3rd youngest team in the league.
okay, that's nice.
All right,
That's nice.
like that explains why Will didn't know who Yaya Diaby was. I'll forgive him for that. Okay.
Yaya was in the ACC at Pittsburgh, right? Will doesn't like ACC. He likes his SEC.
I don't watch ACC football.
Even though South Carolina is going to be in the
You've lost my interest already, Will. Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, but look, we brought you on here to talk about you guys because, in truth, we follow this. We follow Washington pretty hard. Y'all follow your Buccaneers. I've talked to each of you individually and together. Talk to us about Tampa Bay. Like, we know Mike Evans. We know Baker Mayfield, your receivers. Talk to us about that defense. Yeah, talk to us about your team. What do y'all expect? How do y'all feel about your team going into the first game and into the season?
I'll have a hard time not being a homer here because I'm a defensive guy.
You're allowed to be a homer.
Refer to Mr. Cornett over here.
What? You're going to refer to me now?
He wants you to share.
I wasn't listening to those Washington guys. Damn.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
what defense tone, Ben?
Tell us about the team. We don't know much about the Bucs. I don't know your roster besides the marquee names.
Sure. I mean, in my opinion, Vita Vea is our best defensive player. He's our nose tackle. We play at 3-4. That's what Todd Bowles does with his defense. And so we got Joe Tyron Shianka, who's going to be, part defensive end, more outside linebacker. As you know, Levante David, you know who he is. He's been around forever.
Yes.
And has been taking care of business, since day one. Hall of Fame, yep. And then we got Yaya Diaby. Will, you know him now, so you finally know who he is. Came on strong at the end of last year. I thought
still find out.
Really did great. Led the league in sacks, or our team in sacks, with 9 sacks. So he did a very good job. Kalijah Cansey, he's in his 2nd year, defensive tackle. Hopefully we can. His development keeps improving. So, we got a nice defensive core. Our linebacking core is pretty good as well. The secondary, I think, got better this offseason. We brought back Jordan Whitehead, who was on our Super Bowl team in 2020, our safety. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a very good, pickup to bring him back. We're missing some of that, I don't want to say nastiness, but, that hard-hitting kind of safety, which these days you're not allowed to do as much, but it was nice to bring him back, pair him alongside Antoine Winfield. I mean, it's a very good, safety duo right there. And on our corners, we got Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum. We also drafted Tyke Smith to play the nickel from Alabama. So it's going to be a very, very good secondary, I hope. We already got the front. Yeah. We got the front.
So you're led by your defense is what I'm hearing.
Pretty much, yeah. We know our offense. It's going to be good. And, with Baker back, Mike Evans, Godwin, McCollum, or McClendon, I'm sorry, in the 4th round from Washington, who played with Roma Duze, Michael
Jalen McCollum.
Thank you, John. Jalen, yeah. We got Kate Otten, the tight end.
Sean Tucker.
Yeah, but right now our focus is more with Rashad White and Bucky Irving. Those are going to be our running backs. Yeah,
but they're two of the same. That's all right. They get to bicker. We're going to bicker a little bit. Sean Tucker is the 6.7 yard per carry guy. What's his name? The little guy,
Bucky Irvin.
Bucky Irvin. Yeah, he averaged in preseason. Of course, it's preseason, but they were going up the same skill set because it was second and thirds against second and thirds. Okay,
right, which he was better at in college.
He was averaging 2.6 yards per carry. Okay.
So why is Bucky Irving ahead of Sean?
I have no friggin' idea, and that's one of my biggest rants right now is that.
Probably set though, because Bucky Irvin is more of that, like a Rashad White, like you said.
Exactly, he's like a Rashad White. You don't. Our biggest issue last year was the short down and stuff where you want to go north south, man, and that's your Sean Tucker. And I don't understand why they're not doing a rotation like that.
So is Bucky Irving. He has that speed to do that, to go east-west.
No. I want north-south. I don't care about east-west. East-west is where you lose yardage at
whatever. Like, in the NFL. Bucky Irving has the speed to do that. And he's also going to be our kickoff returner, too.
Oh, okay.
So that's a very interesting.
And look, and we already know that you guys are led by the red hair mayor, my guy, Mr. Cody Mock, who's dominating that line. But who else do you guys have? I know you guys, Wirfs is back. How is your O-line looking that's going to be pushing that ball down?
You just say Cody Mock's leading our offensive line?
In my eyes, he is. Yeah. In my eyes, he leads everything.
We got Graham Barton, the rookie out of Duke.
Yeah, Graham Barton's looking good, man. I like him.
Yeah, very versatile. Can play. They said he could play all 5 positions. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. You know, with Tristan Wirfs, the All-Pro, obviously Ben Bredesen, we brought him over from the Giants, starting at guard. So
is that a good thing? Have you seen the Giants' offensive line the last couple of years?
Well, but I'm just saying he's going to be around better.
We know who to attack.
Revamp that offensive line this year. I think it's going to be much better.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Gadecki will fill out the slot. So
Gadecki, that was my guy in the draft a couple of years ago. Is Alec a Bucs fan too? He's sitting here lusting over McMillan, who played in Washington, so he shouldn't like that guy. Yeah, he's a Bucs fan. Jeez, all of y'all.
It's really hard to tell whether Alec is a fan, whose team Alec is a fan of, because he'll bash his team worse than he bashes anybody else.
I was about to say, Alec is an Oregon fan in the NFL. All right,
that's what I was assuming. He's raving excited about Bucky Irving, So yeah,
because he already said he's now also a Broncos fan because of Bo Nix and his other receiver.
I remember him trash talking Bo Nix like a dog there for a while, though, man. Don't you, Ben?
Oh yeah. All last year, I remember it. But look,
tough criticism.
Speaking of tough criticism, look, none of us were gonna, and I don't believe you guys did this either. None of us before Baker came to y'all thought Baker was gonna have the season that he had for y'all last year.
That's a lie.
Oh my God!
Honestly, I thought, and it's in the chats. I have proof. I thought that he was going to do great at Carolina because I hated
Carolina. I'm talking about when he came to y'all.
I hated what the Browns did to him. I'm in the NFC North right here. AFC North right here. That's where I live right now. So I loved Baker. I loved his commercials. I was hesitant after Carolina.
Yeah.
That's when I became hesitant with Baker.
Yeah.
But
coming from
so he came to you guys.
From what y'all came from. That's what I'm saying. Coming from
he was the backup in the Rams, so he came to you guys.
Yeah, how are you hesitant? He went to the Rams, and then everybody was talking about how great he did as a fill-in for the Rams, and then we got him, and I was really hesitant when we picked him up. Okay. So because of Carolina and the way I don't know, they just handled that situation like shit.
Yeah. So what brought him success in Tampa? What made it finally click?
His receivers.
Okay.
He had a better core of receivers around him, a better offensive line.
Coaching.
Yeah, coaching. That's a key as
Tell
well.
Me, is your scheme work for him? I don't know who Liam Cohen is. So,
well, he was the offense coordinator at Kentucky last year.
Okay. Well, that name. Okay.
12.
So he's new with you guys.
Yeah,
Like
and
that
he was with the Rams
personnel
before that,
scheme.
so there's a little familiarity.
You see when you know that you mention an SEC team, all of a sudden Will's like, yeah, I know that guy is.
Oh yeah, he's solid.
It just means more over there, you know.
Those cheeks
It
are
just
getting
means
redder every
more.
time you
Will
say
and Marty
SEC.
McKnight.
So, all right. So, to your point, and that's the conversation I tried to avoid to have. Your wide receivers. We know about Mike Evans. Not with 9 straight years over 1,000, or is it 10?
10.
10 years over 1,000 yards. I think 1 or 2 more years before he ties with Jerry.
Oh, one.
I think it's one
next
to
year he
tie.
ties.
One to tie.
One more he beats Jerry.
I mean, so you gotta throw that Hall of Fame status on just by the numbers.
Absolutely.
But then you got Godwin there, and then Johnny, who you and me talked about, who Alec is talking about in the chat, Jalen McMillan, who was
and Trey Palmer at 4th.
Right. So Will and I definitely have questions in our secondary, but talk about this receiving core of y'all's, because I'm not looking forward to playing y'all's receivers for week 1.
The only team that I put up with our receiving core would be the Rams. The Rams have a beast of a team. Honest to God, they do.
Did you forget that team, the other team in Florida, Miami, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's a pretty damn good.
It is. That's the fast. I would give that the fastest receiving core in the league. Period, hands down, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But
I definitely
the depth the Rams have at receiving.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. And if their draft picks work out this year like they did last year, oh my God.
It's going well. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I mean, your receivers are nasty. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to call the Rams, this Florida State fan, if we could have Jared Verse back for a few more.
We have to take fifth with Verse. You know that, right?
Get all of your players back. I mean, good gracious.
I want Verse and Fist back in Florida. Yes.
Yes, please. Anyway, that's that. But yeah, our receiver, I would say probably the top 5, easily top 5 receiver core in the NFL. You know, and your defense, the corner. I mean, we should be feasting on it.
Yeah, we should shred them.
Yes. That's the thing. As long as Baker has time, you know, oh man, fantasy points galore. You know, you'll with Evans and Godwin.
What do you don't talk to me about fantasy points? You don't know.
I kept Mike Evans in one of my keeper leagues, so yeah, I'm good. I will be starting in week 1 for sure. Yeah. But look, hey, let's go ahead. So real quick, I want your schedule. You see, you got, obviously NFC South. We know the struggles in the NFC South, although Atlanta's going to be pretty good. You play the likes of the Lions and the Broncos and the Ravens and, the Kansas and the Chiefs and San Francisco. You guys have some tougher teams on your schedule. Obviously, a lot of these guys are playoff teams. And then you also have to play the NFC South. Real quick, what do you think? What are you expecting for the season? I mean, is it back to the playoffs?
You're expecting for your season? Nothing yet.
What a prediction, though. I mean, come on, man.
Here we go, Scott. We had this discussion last night, dude.
I know. We should
don't even go there with me, man. You ain't suckering me into that tar pit, dude. No. Go, Ben. You can give it to him.
Okay. Just looking at the schedule, it is going to be a kind of a murderer's row. You we got the Lions the following week. Alex Lusman,
division title winners. That's the schedule you get, man.
The Eagles, I believe, after that, and we go to Kansas City. We got San Francisco at home. We got the Ravens on a Monday night. So it's a tough schedule.
Y'all going to be like.
We have to, here's the thing. In order to get to 10 wins, we have to sweep our division and win 3 out of market games. I think we got the 3 out of market games. Now sweeping the division, I think Saints and Carolina is sweepable, but then again, it's a division. It's their divisional games, so you never can tell. And if we're playing that last game of the season against one of our division title, which we are. Then you never know if they're going to set their starters or not, so.
But knowing in the last couple of years with you guys in that division, it has come down to the last week or two. in the season. So for the most part, y'all have kept guys in there.
Next to last week was
because last year was 2 weeks in.
And that's kind of like the only criticism I have. This team should have been better than what it was last year. A 9-8 record. We barely got in the playoffs, and we had to win
we were playing a divisional champion schedule that year also.
I understand that, but I mean, with the rest of the teams in our division, we should have had that division one. We lost to the Saints, I think, the week before that, where we could have wrapped it up and then go from there. But again, we still won a playoff game, beat the Eagles, and we were a quarter away from beating the Lions. So you see the potential there to be a team that can go far in the playoffs. I think this team can win 10 games easily.
But I think I love about this. I was looking at this too, saying I can easily see 8-9 wins, and 10 is a thing. It was just like 2 years ago where there's a lot of talk about Todd Bowles being on the hot seat. I think it was 2 years, maybe it was 3 years ago. I just remember there was a lot of some questions. And as someone who's always liked Todd Bowles, not because he wore this logo when he played, but I think he's a smart defensive coach. And I don't think he really got a good shot in New York. It's not fair to be a Jets coach as your first time. I love the fact that he's been given an opportunity at Tampa to, take over the team. And obviously, and we talked about what fit, what did it. He got himself a quarterback. He built up the defense, but he got himself a quarterback. Kind of the same thing we're looking to try and see. If you can get yourself a quarterback, everything becomes possible.
All Bucs fans still believe that they don't do well against rookie quarterbacks. And I'm just going to bring this up just because you guys got a rookie quarterback. Mm-hmm. But up until 2018, that was true. It was like 22-1 against rookie quarterbacks before that, since 2000. Mm-hmm. Since Todd Bowles took over, it's 11-2 against rookie quarterbacks. So that whole fear that the Bucs fans have needs to back off. It's a lot of those. I'm sure you guys have them, and I know Sean has his superstitions about your team. He don't want to go all in, or he don't want to get all excited because of the history that you guys have had back and forth with that. And that's what it is with Bucs fans. You can't rely on history. It's a brand new year, a brand new season, and you got it. If you're a supporter, you're supporting.
Say it, Sean.
Okay,
it's
Johnny.
A new day.
It's a new dawn. It is a new day. But Johnny, I got receipts on myself. I was here when you gave us Fitzpatrick, and well, you didn't give it to you. We got it from with the Raiders or something in Miami. When he came, I was on board with him. I was there that first week against the Chargers when he went.
Who actually drafted Ryan?
Who did? Buffalo, didn't they?
I have no fucking clue, man.
And also was on board with Carson Wentz when we traded for him. I've been on board. You guys know specifically, I was on board for Sam last year.
Well, you get really excited with your new quarterbacks. You really do.
Right.
I'll give you that.
Pump my brakes. I got to pump my brakes this year because I cannot afford to lose.
It's the strongest part. I get crazy with you because it's the strongest part of your team that you get more critical about, dude.
Well, exactly. I hope Sam is
all right. So I put this up here because I was going to ask about your running backs. I was basically going to say, well, how do the Bucs get beat? We see who you're on defense. We know about your receivers. How do you get beat? So Alec is telling us how it could be a slot fest out there that could, control some of that passing game a little bit. Talk to me about,
damn good.
Is he good in the rain? Is he good in the slot? I'm just asking.
Well, he's a top 5 quarterback in fantasy draft, so
he's solid. He's solid with his footwork and everything.
I put him in the top 5, higher than that. I'm putting him in the top 11 running backs in the league right now.
Not that I want to see too much of this, but with the rain, reportedly it's going to be raining. Baker Mayfield, he can run the football.
He's from bad weather.
He can make some, so he can make some plays on his feet too. So it's almost like having an extra running back out there. I don't want to see too much of that, but he does provide that kind of extra running back.
I'll be told he runs like Ben Roethlisberger, but still,
I mean, he still has mobile, and that's where a game where I agree with you, Johnny, and your backfield is that if it's raining, if it's dirty. I mean, we know about us in Washington about the hogs and the mud and all that. You want your bruiser, and that's where your boy from Syracuse, Sean Tucker, is going to come out.
Sean Tucker, that's my
and if
boy,
it does
man.
rain and the field does get, I mean, we know how it is down in Tampa when it rains. That field can get soaking wet. So if that happens, you're going to want to rely on that I formation, give it to him up the middle. And
he's going to run a 12-man, so that means he can run dual running backs, and just you got Baker and 2 running backs up back there, and pick your poison.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's
Same
going to be
with tight ends,
Yeah. But look, it's going to be interesting. But we know why we're here. We know why we brought you guys on. The people want to know what is going to go down. So we got to bring out our keys to victory. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that don't know, each year before each game, we do our keys to victory, where we give 2 keys that we think are going to be beneficial for our team to potentially win this game. So we're going to go around once and do a key, and then we're going to go around again and do it. Since you guys are our guests, Johnny, I'll come to you first. What is your first key to victory?
I would prefer to give a key to victory to what it takes for you guys to beat us.
You're a Bucs fan. We need you to do yours. So you can do the Bucs thing.
Key to victory is if we show up alive.
No.
Jeez.
God,
just like you tonight, right?
I told you I wasn't coming out here to be sweetheart, dude.
Wow. Ben, what you got, man?
Real simple. When you got a rookie quarterback, you want your defense to put pressure on him. And with the offensive line you guys got, I think it's improving. It's going to be improved. But if our defense can set the tone early, get to your quarterback, because he's a rookie again, he's not the NFL speed's faster. That would be my key to victory. And also, clock possession, time of possession. If the Bucs can control the ball offensively, go up early, then our run game will kick in with the lead. So those are the keys to victory for me.
I do have one, honestly.
Well, we're going to come back around. Will, what you got?
2. You said you won.
All right.
What you got, Will?
That works.
Okay. I'm going to go with getting the ball out quickly for Jaden. Mm-hmm. Ben, you're right. We don't, offensive line may be improved from last year, but they're not top 5. They're not top 10, but you can negate a bad offensive line. You can negate a great pass rush by getting the ball out of your quarterback's hands. And they did that in the preseason. And Cliff Kingsbury's offense usually does that pretty much. He gets the ball out. And so I think that's going to be the key. And they're already that's one of the hypes about Jaden Daniels right now is the fact that he knows where to go with the ball. He processes quickly and gets rid of it. He was getting rid of the ball in preseason under 2 seconds. At one point, something, I forgot the actual decimal that it went to, but it was very, very quick. And that's what was catching people's attention is he's got command of the offense and knows where to go with it. And they're going to need that. And they've got, for them, it's the element of surprise on offense. Nobody has seen it. So your defense, on paper, you guys are a much better team, but you don't know what you're going up against on offense right now. You can say it's Cliff Kingsbury and we think we know, but you don't. You don't know what the offense is going to look like. Brand new formations. And so that can be a help, especially in the first half.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. My first key to victory, and I never thought I'd say this, but Scott, you're absolutely right. Our most of our incoming guys, most of the guys that we got were in the front 7 with Dante Fowler Jr. and Dorrance Armstrong and Cleveland Farrell and Bobby Wagner and Frank LaVue. The front 7's got to shine. We need to shut down the run, and we need to make Baker Mayfield have to make off-platform plays where he's rolling out and having to be this great Heisman Trophy guy from Oklahoma. We need that. He has to do that in order to beat us, and we got to put him in those situations to do that. So our front 7 has got to put pressure on that run game, put pressure on Baker Mayfield, and not give him that time to throw, because I've already told you guys, once you get past our front 7, it's just like it's tissue paper. You're just gonna go through it left and right. You know what I mean? So that front seven, all those moves that we made, they need to show up and earn that paycheck in week 1 for us to have a shot against you guys, in my opinion. Johnny, what's your second key to victory?
Our offensive coordinator. Now, I just told you guys how he likes to run a 12-man offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't make sure he uses his weapons deep, then wait a minute, I want to say he's got to make sure he uses his weapons deep. Mm-hmm. Don't just rely on your 12-man. Don't rely on your tight ends and your running backs constantly. Hit your weapons. Hit Evans. Don't make the same mistake that happened last year the year before last when Brady was out there trying to fucking throw the ball too quickly and not letting his receivers get downfield. And because that's a key to the disaster also, because then you get all these short yards gains, you get these first downs, and then you get in the red zone and it tightens up and you can't get nowhere.
Right.
I can dig it. Ben, what you got, man?
I'm gonna go a little bit different here. I think our tight end, Cade Otton, I think he could be another key to victory. If we could get him a few catches in the game, spread out the offense, because he's good, he's got good hands, he's quick for a tight end. So if we can make some plays with Baker and Otton, I mean, that could definitely help our other guys with Godwin, Evans, get more open looks, that way now you're going to have to really focus on everybody. So if we can get Cade Otton a few looks and he gets going, I think he could really help this offense out.
Oh, yeah. We're susceptible to tight ends as well. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, who's now with us. He killed us.
I think every team is.
Yeah.
Tight ends.
Especially us. Especially us.
Yeah.
Will, what's your last one, bud?
You might kill me here, Sean, with what I'm about to say. So I don't trust our defense. I don't love our corners. There's going to be none of this happening out of St. Jude's versus your wide receivers. And so I think the key for Washington to be in the game and for a victory is to prevent you guys from being on the field, is to slow the game down. And this is why Sean being the running back is to feature Brian Robinson. Like I talked about getting the ball out quickly on passing situations, but then feeding Brian Robinson at running back, utilizing Austin Eckler, and controlling the ball and the time of possession so you don't get, because you guys can score quickly on us. And to Johnny's point, you guys should run longer developing routes on our wide receivers and throw it up there and give them a chance, because they will probably catch it every time. So we have to keep your offense off the field, and that's my key to victory.
Oh yeah, and since Will,
that's a good one. I like that. That was a good one.
That's good because it's right. That's the only thing we can do. But
I forget you have Austin Eckler. I think that would be a major key to your victory, because Austin Eckler is he's a weapon. He's not just a running back. He is a weapon, and you need to utilize your weapons, dude.
Exactly. And so with my last key to victory, we have to win that turnover battle. We've got to create more possessions for our rookie quarterback. Just to your point, Will, we got to keep our offense on the field and try to drag this thing out and keep that high-powered offense off the field. We have got to we have to win the momentum battle, the possession battle, time possession, and the turnover. We have to win that and create more opportunities for ourselves, because it's going to take a lot more opportunities for us to get the dub than for y'all. I think y'all, like you said, even with that deep ball, I mean, that it's tissue paper out there. I don't think anybody's gonna stop you on that one. So we've got to win the turnover battle.
How many points do you think it'll take to win the game?
It's coming up next segment.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Speaking of which, thank you for that segue, my guy.
My mind all the time.
Great minds think alike, baby. Score predictions. We're going to go ahead and put it out there. You guys in the chat, definitely put it out there. All you Bucs fans, we know what you're going to say. Johnny, we're going to come to you first. What is your score prediction for this weekend?
Since I don't know a whole lot about your wide receiver core, I knew Jahan Dotson. I know Austin Eckler has burnt us before. You know, he's torched us, man. So, but if you got him as a second string backup, running back, I don't know if you're going to be you. That I understand. Your roster isn't set in stone right now, so I have to really look at that. But right now, I'm just going to say 31-21 Bucs.
Okay, I like that.
Even though I said I wasn't going to be nice tonight, I'm being.
It's a high scoring game.
Right, that's giving us credit. Thank you. Okay, Scott, appreciate you, sir. What you got, Ben?
I think this could be maybe not as high scoring, but I would go like 24-14.
I can see that.
Somewhere in that range.
That. Buccaneers?
Stop all shut
Bucs,
up,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Bucs
Okay.
24, Commanders 14. Yeah.
Okay. I can dig it. All right, Will, it's our first time this year. What you got?
That's right. So this is kind of one of my classic goes-to. I hate playing against a new coach just because of the fact that there's no film out there on what they're going to do. If this was week 10, I would be saying this is going to be a, 30-point blowout for the Bucs. But the fact that there's an element of surprise right here gives us our best fighting chance that we could ever have on here. And so I'm going to say it's all about the kickers. Who's going to hit the game-winning field goal or put ahead field goal? I'm going 26-24, and just like Joseph Washington, Commanders with the victory.
Let's
Shocking
go.
everyone.
Let's go.
And then we're
Let's
calling
go.
up Johnny and yelling at him.
Let's go. And honestly, hey.
I ain't even talking to Anthony no more. I ain't even talking to Anthony no more.
Look, like we said, there's a lot of things out there that we know are going to struggle with. Our secondary, I do not feel confident in that. But to Will's point, we don't even know in Washington fully what our offense is going to run or what our defense is going to run and how it's going to look. So how then could any other team know? And then you add in the element of rain. I think it's going to be a lot closer. And look, you guys are on here doing your thing. I'm on here doing mine. 21-17. Washington gets the W.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
Let's go.
Look at that. Anthony saying DC, Scott saying DC, the world saying DC.
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Daniels gonna light y'all up on
Let's
fire.
go.
I love being the underdog.
Oh, let's go.
Now I got one thing to say.
Wait, how you gonna switch up on me,
when you
Scott?
He's such a flip flopper.
Will, when you were talking about the coaching, that's one hesitation I got with the Bucs is because we don't know what our OC is.
Right.
We really don't.
Yeah.
So I know what scheme he wants to run,
Wrong.
and I know the personnel we have. But if we match up personnel to personnel, we got you all day long. You know?
Absolutely. On paper, without a doubt, you guys are 100% much better.
So,
We'll see.
I got a score for Anthony there, or Zagnif, 28-3.
Oh, ooh. Mic drop. Ooh. So speaking of that, really quickly, I did want to speak about this because we talked about new coaches. Canales is now the coach. Your old former OC is now the coach at Carolina. So I know you've seen this new guy in preseason, and we obviously Will knows from Kentucky and everything like that. How much though is different from that offense that Baker and them ran last year to the one that they're running this year, or is it different at all?
Well, it's going to be pretty similar.
Well, the 12 man is different. There's going to be a much heavier running scheme in this one. So
it's still similar, but like Johnny said, it's going to be more, running schemes and everything. But I think what makes me
more of a 50-50 balance now.
Yeah.
Okay.
What makes me more confident about Liam Cohen is that he's been an OC, whereas Dave Canales, he was only an OC for 1 year because he was
he's a head coach
Seahawks
now.
Quarterbacks coach for so long. He never been an OC. So it was his first time calling plays last year. Now he goes from that to being a head coach, which, I don't know how that's going to work out.
Don't underestimate the experience of being on that field for 17 years with the Seahawks, though.
Yeah, but again, it's different when you're actually calling the plays.
It's different, but he can get. It's not something that you can't get used to, or they wouldn't be hiring the backups as coaches all the time.
This is Carolina.
Every one of these coaches started somewhere.
This is Carolina, though. I mean,
they got to take who's willing to take the job.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Let's hope that your team argues like you guys are arguing, and Washington can capitalize on that, because that might be the only way we get the dub.
I'm not going to pick on the old guy tonight. He gets picked on plenty. So
well, and Ben, you are clearly getting roasted in this chat. You're giving FSU too much credit, Anthony. They would have thrown a peck to the scoring. Listen,
by his own
DJ,
guy too, Alec is
DJ.
Throwing him at
you still have a fan in me, all right, DJ. You could make it in the ACC. Well, no, you didn't do that.
Good.
You can make it in the Mountain West, maybe, DJ. All right.
Hey, real quick,
stay away from the Big Ten, though. You'd never make it there.
Shout out to Alec. How's Jason doing tonight? What's he been up to lately?
Good God. Okay, here we go.
Speaking of
we gotta go ahead.
Alec, what about them Ducks in the Big Ten? How do you think they're actually going to do in the Big Ten?
Idaho.
Wait till November. That's what all that matters when it comes to Oregon. They can get all this. Johnny, you said it. They can have all this fun in September, October. Show me in November when you have to go to the Midwest. If you're going to like it.
Marty, don't.
And you know what? Boise State might give them a game on Saturday.
Boise State just put up 56 last weekend. So, yeah. Oh, man. All right, look, we're not out here talking college, but we can always talk college, doing our thing. But look, we got to sit here and say thank you so much to our guys, Ben Cornett, Johnny Dean, coming on here, talking to Buccaneers, talking about their squad. Real quick, Ben, I know you have at it. 2-3 Benzo coming to all these things. What you got coming up, man?
Well, I usually do the Have At It show on Friday night, but this week we're going to take a week off from that because we actually got an NFL game on Friday night.
Yes.
So, we'll take a break from that, but we'll be back next week. And also, real quick, on my YouTube channel, I just put up Ben's Quick Picks or Week 1 picks.
Nice.
So it's back for the second season, so check that out. My YouTube channel is Ben Cornett 9015.
And let me just say, a couple years back, Ben picked against us 3 weeks in a row, and that was the time that Heineke got us those 3 or 4 wins in a row. So pick against us, Ben. Keep picking against us. Man, and go ahead.
I will be doing a quick pick. I will be not a quick pick, but I will be doing a pick'em show. I haven't got the night settled in, but I expect 100% that Sean Spencer is going to be on that show
for the NFL edition.
And Will, you're always welcome to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What? So when is that?
I just said I didn't have the nights straightened out. I kind of work out the details with you and Alex and everybody else, man.
So yeah, definitely stay tuned to that. I know, obviously, Alex and I are back doing Let's Talk our college football update. And Johnny and I had discussed doing kind of almost a roundtable type situation where we can just bring all these college fans in here to just, kind of go back and forth on college and everything, all except for SEC fans, because it doesn't mean more over there. So
leave you out, Marty. You don't even know
what about the road trip show, you guys? Sean, what's the road trip show?
We got to bring that back. We gonna bring all those back, guys. We gonna bring all those back. So
it's a sore subject with me right at the moment.
We gonna work it out.
Without a vehicle, I really don't want to be talking about road trips.
Oh God! All right. Hey, Johnny, Ben, appreciate you guys for hopping on here, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having us, man.
Yes, thank you so much.
And good luck Sunday. We'll see what happens.
That's right. It'll be fun.
Good luck. Good luck. For 4 hours, I can't talk to you guys, but other than that, we're good. All right, guys. Yeah, buddy. So, all right, man. You know what it is. My guy, Will Kramer, Sean Spencer. We're hoping against hope we can start the season off 1-0. But like we talked about earlier, even if we don't win, now if we get blown out, there are going to be some serious concerns. But even if we don't win, we still feel like we're going in the right direction, Will. So, I'm good. I'm good with where we're at, man. What do you think?
Yep, absolutely. Tough game, tough first one, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and I hope our defense is like this brick wall behind me, man. All right, we'll see. Yeah. But look, we're going to go ahead and head out of here. We appreciate all of you in the comments. The chat was going off. A lot of you are Buccaneers fans, but a lot of you been picking Washington. So, hey, 50-50. We'll see what happens. For my guy, South Carolina's finest, Mr. Will Kramer, you know who it is. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see y'all next time. Stay tuned for all the cool stuff we got. Football season's back, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. Peace.